So I can barely believe it, but I uploaded my first ARC video in the 29th of October 2023. So it has been an entire year since I started my YouTube journey. I honestly didn't have any plans. I didn't know how I was going to go, but I threw the first video up there and just went, screw it. I'm going to see if I enjoy this and if it works out for me. Well, 1 year later and we've come a long way. I am just shy of 2K subscribers, almost 2,000 subscribers. Like, let's just make the number known there. Like, I am baffled by the amount of subscribers I've gained. Like, there are that many people out there enjoying my content. It just really blows my mind, and I really appreciate every one of you who has subscribed to me throughout the year and all of the different series and different reasons you guys have subscribed over time. I've, been a little bit diverse in some of the series I've done, and yeah, some of you like different things, but yeah, I appreciate anyone who subscribes for whatever reason it is. You guys rock, and I still wouldn't be doing this if you guys weren't there watching the content, because I would be just putting it up there for nobody to watch, and I probably wouldn't feel worth it. So yeah, like, I really want you to appreciate, like, the support I've gotten this entire time is the whole reason I have been able to do it for as long as I have, and why I'm not slowing down at all. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it. So with that, with the 1 year anniversary of my YouTube content, I thought about and I'm doing a Q&A. I did one of these once upon a time already. It was a little while ago now when I hit 1,000 subscribers, which is actually, I think, like 5 months ago now or something, which is just crazy. I think it was around the time I was doing Primal Chaos. That series honestly did wonders for this channel. Like, the timing was right. There wasn't many people covering the series, and I found a lot of people really liked my content on there. So I gained a lot of traction during that. So thank you to anyone who sort of helped me build in that time. It made a big difference. So yeah, the Q&A, I put out the call to anyone looking at my channel and in my Discord as well, just asking if people had some questions. So yeah, like, I've got a long list of them here, so I'm gonna go through and answer them all. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna have on in the background while I'm doing this, but I'm sure it'll be interesting, hopefully. So yeah, sit back and I will answer all of your questions you had. What is my favorite creature that I have tamed in the last year? My favorite creature I've tamed in the last year is actually really hard for me to choose. I had 3 creatures that stood out to me, and for very different reasons, and those were the Demonic Reaper in Primal Chaos, the Runic Lightning Wyvern in my Fantasy Ascended series, which I know you guys haven't seen, but my channel members know what I'm talking about. And then the Fire Drake that I've recently gotten on Anunnaki. I know that probably surprises some people that I haven't just said like Baryonyx or something, but like, everyone knows that's my favorite creature. But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to choose between those 3. Like, they're very different. Like, the Demonic Reaper is just a destructive force. It's just crazy, like, strong and, amazing to use, but it's more just overpowered than it is, like, interesting, I guess. The Runic Lightning Wyvern, once again, that thing's actually really cool and versatile. Like, I know you guys haven't seen the context behind this, but trust me when I say, like, if you haven't seen that mod, this Runic Lightning Wyvern, I think it does like hundreds of damage per tick on the lightning. Like, I don't have a super, it's not mutated or anything, it's just the levels. I've got like max level 150, and I think I got like the 180 or something that you could get in the wild, and you get the taming bonus because you actually knock them out. It ended up with like decent amount of health, and it does like hundreds of damage per tick with its lightning breath. It does like a couple of K damage with its bite. It's just ridiculous. But apart from that, it also does the Griffin swoop, so it does like a dive. You can fly backwards and sideways like a Tapajara, and you can also shoot off the back. It's just like, I've said it several times in my Fantasy Ascended series, like, it is just game-breakingly OP. Like, I've killed so many things with that thing so easily. Like, it's just ridiculously strong, but also really cool. It's just why it's in my top 3. Like, it looks cool. It's got interesting effects, like interesting, like, I don't know, symbols etched into the wings. Cool colors and everything. And yeah, just all the abilities is awesome. But yeah, the last one, the Fire Drake. So, you know what? If I had to choose between all 3, I actually think I'm going to vote the Fire Drake, funnily enough. even after just giving the runic wyvern such a good spiel. Yeah, the fire drake though, it is like, I don't know, it's the way it's like this. It's basic enough. Like, it is still like a fantasy-ish creature. It's not really a vanilla one, but it's kind of just like a mini dragon, but it's on fire for starters. It's got like fire effects on it, which looks really cool. And then also it does a really good fire breath. It's really strong. Not as strong as the dragon in the mod, I know that, but it's really cool and just really balanced. And I don't know what it, like, you can fly around nicely on it. You know, it's just a really cool all-rounded creature, and you know, it's not crazy in any way. It's just ticks my boxes for like what I like about those overhaul mods. Like, to be honest, Primal Chaos doesn't really stack up to Primal Fear in my opinion, because Primal Fear had creatures that are just so much cooler, like on fire, the fire effects, the fire breaths, like the lightning attack. Like, I don't know, everything that they did, there was just so much more effects to it. It was so much more fleshed out. Primal Chaos on ASA is just like the creatures have got like a texture and they apply an effect. Like, there's no effects to it. It doesn't, like, there's no, like, I guess they call them particle effects, and I know that people out there are like, oh, but it impacts performance. I know that, but like, I don't know, I just really like the things being like big and destructive and really cool looking, like, as opposed to just like a texture on a creature that, you know, you get bored of after seeing like 2 of them. I don't know. Primal Chaos is still cool. I'm not sledging the mod. Like, I'm just saying there is a big difference between Primal Chaos and Primal Fear on ASE. That's all. But yes, Anunnaki though, on ASA, at least has some creatures with the, you know, like the fire and the effects and everything that just look really cool. Like, that's why I'm saying I like the Fire Drake so much. That's all. Anyway, yeah, I'm just a sucker for like elemental effects in mods is basically what I'm saying. What is my favorite fantasy creature and why? I love this question. So I don't know if anyone who's been around for a while has probably heard me say it 1,000 times, but I am an absolute fantasy like nerd and lover. Like, I don't know, I've loved playing D&D. Like, I wouldn't say I'm an expert on anything. I'm not like this super knowledge keeper, like I know everything about everything, and you know, like I'm obsessed with one thing in particular. Not really. But I've just grown up loving things like Lord of the Rings and, I don't know, like not even necessarily made like Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, I know that's pirates, but just like the fantasy aspects on it as well. Harry Potter from like the wizarding, like fantasy perspectives on that. Like, I don't know, anything sort of in that sphere, I've always loved. So anyway, I love fantasy. And yeah, games as well. Sorry, I should mention games like, you know, Skyrim and things like that as well. Like, I've grown up just adoring all that stuff, so yes. But if I had to pick a favorite creature, it's actually very easy for me. And I don't know if it's by a huge gap, but I'm quite confident in it. It's the Phoenix. It's hard for me to explain why. I know that there's other creatures out there that are just really cool as well. And I do love a lot of fantasy creatures, but the Phoenix is just, it's beautiful. It's really majestic. It's really just damn cool looking. Like, I don't know, even look at the Ark one, like it's on fire. It looks beautiful. I don't know, like, in, you know, like Forks in Harry Potter as well. I'm trying to think of where it's been in other things that I've seen. I'm sure there's plenty, but I don't know. They've just always been beautiful. Like, in the mythology around them as well. Like, you know, the whole being reborn from their own ashes. I don't know. They're just beautiful. I love them. I love them so much. I don't have like shrines of them in my house or anything, but like, I honestly like love them. Would I, or am I considering uploading a different game than Ark? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually planning on it pretty soon, funnily enough. I'm currently recording a different game, sort of within the same semi-niche as Ark. It's not like another dinosaur game, but it's, you know, it's another survival-ish game. So yeah, I'm recording that with a friend, but I really don't want to give any details out on it right now until we're ready to go, because that'll spoil the surprise. And, you know, if anything changes, of course, then I'll look like an idiot because it won't come out. But yes, no, it should be coming out fairly soon, actually. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we should start dropping episodes of that. But yeah, there's also plenty of other games I do want to try as well. So I have been, you know, starting to branch out to meet other creators. We are talking about other games as well, potentially playing. And Even things that aren't necessarily like Ark-esque or like, you know, in that sphere, like, you know, like party games are actually kind of fun as well. Like, or cooperative games. Like if you guys, I'm sure that if you guys are watching my channel, there's a lot of you who have watched Syntac in the group, like the Sausage Party guys. Like you look at some of the cooperative games they play, you know, like Phasmophobia, what is it? Lethal Company, games like that, you know, like they look really fun. I don't know if I'll play any of that. I don't know what I'll do, but like those are just things that pop into my head every now and then that are potentially good to open myself up to enjoy doing content with people, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, I know some people love solo content and, you know, I like making solo content, but having other people around actually is just really fun for me as well. And I do need to think about how much what I'm getting enjoyment out of as well, like, because that actually affects you guys. Like the more I'm having fun, hopefully the better the content is. I don't know. Yeah, you guys can let me know what you think as well. Like, do you guys like solo series? Do you like seeing, you know, shared content? Do I think I can beat a Dillo or a Parasol one-on-one, and what tactic would I use? This question just made me laugh so much when I read it. I loved it. You're amazing for writing this one, buddy. Oh, man. But yes, look, if I had no time to plan, absolutely not. I would get steamrolled. I would get, you know, chewed up and spat out or digested and then, anyway. But if I had time to plan, maybe, with a question mark. I mean, what I would try and do, what I would think I would do, is I would use human intellect to try and trap it or gain an advantage over it, okay? I would not try and use brute force, because I'm sure that a dinosaur would you know, have a lot more strength than I do. I don't know about a Dillo, maybe. I don't know, maybe not, but we'll see. Look, but if I was like in a space level, if I was just like in the middle of like a sand dune or something and there was no terrain or tool advantages or anything I could do, I would probably just be beaten into paste. And my bones would be ground up and my insides would be splattered everywhere. It would not be a good time. I know a Parasol wouldn't, you know, splatter my insides everywhere, but still, I imagine that it would stomp me into a paste. At very least, or something. Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be good. But, yes, me, even if I had time to plan, I am attentionally challenged, so I imagine I would screw it up somehow and probably still die. So, overall, probably not. What creature in Ark would be my first choice for a TLC, and what ability would I choose? This actually took me a while to have a think about and try and, like, actually decide on something. I don't really have anything that's popped into my head a lot where I've been like, oh, I really wish it would do this or something, like, or if I have, I've already forgotten because of my brain. But anyway, like an obvious one I've heard about before is Syntac always talks about the Megalodon. I completely agree with all that, but I'm not going to go with that because he already says it and I'm just regurgitating what he says. But if I had to give my own choice, I would say the Quetzalcoatlus, the Quetzal, like, or however you want to say that. Quetzal, right? You know, this one it's honestly like, since they nerfed flyers all those years ago, the thing has become useless and nobody I know has ever to like really tame them. I mean, it's happened once or twice for different reasons. Like I tamed one, I don't know, for an idea I had on the island in my first series I did. I still didn't even really end up using it after like the first time because it just sucked. They're slow. I mean, they're just, and there's nothing good about them. Like they're not that powerful. They're not fast. You can't keep them in the air forever that I'm aware of anymore. I think they used to regain stamina while you were flying once upon a time, but I swear that they changed that so they don't regain stamina, right? I think. But anyway, look, if I was to give them a TLC, I was thinking about this and I thought what would be really freaking awesome. You know how some people like the industrial style saddles? So I'm thinking like the, what's the one on Crystal Isles? Why am I forgetting the name? The Tropio. Or the Andrewsarchus. So I was thinking like an industrial style saddle, but it's like a base. It's still like a platform saddle, but it includes a wind turbine generator and water storage. How cool would that be? Like you literally have power and water there for you and you could build a base on the back of this thing with like this awesome saddle. I actually think that would be really cool. I don't know. And then I also still think you want to benefit from like, somewhere between a 10 and 20% movement speed buff. I would say at least 15% because someone with my patience level, I can't fly them around like more than once because it's just so damn slow. I don't have the patience to fly them around. I just don't. Unless I was like, I don't know. I can't even think about PvP. Like, I don't know. I don't do that. So people will probably disagree with me. I know you're a PvP player. Sorry, but not sorry. PvE is my way. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Is that a good idea? What do I have against doors? When I was a child, I saw a door, and then it vanished into the darkness. I gasped. I sunk down. I cowered. When I finally worked up the courage to look around the corner it led into, I couldn't see it anywhere. No signs of where it had gone. No scuff marks on the floor led to where it went. To this day, the hinges where it once was still hung, rustily scraping on windy nights with the moon bright and full. Some say they can still hear the door opening and closing when nobody is in the house, but nobody has ever sighted the door. Nobody knows what happened to it. I know the truth. I know what doors are capable of. I avoid doors at all costs. Would I fully mutate a bad dino like a dodo just for fun? Hell yes, I would. It actually sounds like a really fun idea. Like, as soon as I read that, I'm like, yeah, I should totally do that. I don't know why I haven't, like, I don't know, I just keep moving on and end up doing other things, but yeah, like, I don't know, like, freaking doing it for, like, billos or, like, dodos or compies or something really stupid and then just unleashing them just sounds like a really fun idea. But yeah, I think the dodo is probably the funniest out of that group. Do I have a creature that I would like to be added to the official arc? And preferably not a popular one, but anything goes. You know, this is actually surprisingly hard for me to answer because, like, I don't know, if anyone's been watching a lot of my series for a while, you'd notice I haven't used that many modded creatures. Like, a lot of my, like, canon map playthroughs have been very vanilla, where I've been trying to play just the main game, so I haven't really added any modded creatures, but I have done a couple of series with a few modded ones. But, you know, if I had to give, like, an official answer on something that I've seen that I think would be really cool in the main game, I'd have to say Morrow's Tylosaurus. And that's only, I haven't used it, I haven't dealt with it myself, I haven't checked out the mod, but from what I've seen other people do, that thing's really cool. Like, it's this really mobile, smaller version of a Mimosa that has cool attacks and good abilities, so it actually looks really good too. Its animations are great. It's got like an oxygen bubble as a saddle as well. Like, I don't know, it looks really cool, and it looks good enough that you could slot it into the game. I don't think it looks bad. But if I had to give something that I've personally used, it's really difficult because, like, most of my modded creatures I have used have been really overpowered, like overhaul mod creatures, or in my fantasy series, they're like really overpowered gigantic mods like the freaking runic wyverns and stuff. But if I had to give an answer based on that, I would say from my Svartalheim series, the Lythroanax or the Postasuchus, I mean, they were pretty cool. There's probably other creatures in those mods that are even better, but I never got around to naming them. But, you know, the Lythroanax was kind of like a bigger version of the Yallow. The Postasuchus was actually probably the one I would vote for more because it was like this nesting, really fast, swampy creature that you had to steal eggs from. And another egg-stealing creature that's like a swamp, like, reptile sounds interesting to me. I don't know, that actually would be really cool in the main game. The only caveat and the only catch with those ones is that mod really needs some works on the textures because those creatures look terrible in terms of the textures. They move well, they behave well, like their animations are great, they do good things, the mod was fun, they just don't look nice, so it would not slot into official unless it had a lot of overhaul work on the textures. No sledging the mod author there, like, I'm sure textures is just not something that they really do, so fair enough, I don't blame them. Or maybe they got the textures from another game, or the creatures ported in, I don't know. But they're part of the Prehistoric Beasts mod, and that's, yeah, really cool. Go check it out. If Ark didn't exist, would I still be making YouTube videos? Now that is a great question, but honestly, no, I don't think I would be. Look, if Ark didn't exist, I don't know that anything else would have put me into the unique position where I was so passionate about a game and wanting to share my experience with, with, you know, random people in the world. It's a very interesting idea for me. Like, if you asked me 2 years ago would I ever do this, I would tell you hell no, no way. Why would I do that? I am too anxious and nervous to ever do that. And here I am now, and it's very strange to me. But you know, Ark is such a unique game that nothing can even really compare to. Like, I've been talking to Solo and other people about this. Like, what is out there that actually ticks all of the boxes that Ark ticks? I can't think of anything. Conan Exiles comes kind of close in terms of the building system at least, but the actual gameplay I feel like kind of lacks in some ways. I don't know. But, you know, now that I am playing Ark and doing YouTube, it puts me in a different position now though, where I probably would branch out to other games, but I don't know if I would have ever started without Ark being the bridge. So yeah, honest answer, no. Am I ever going to make a return to Primal Chaos? Now that is a good question. I honestly, I get this question quite a lot actually. It seems like a lot of people really do want me to return to Primal Chaos. So look, I will start by saying, yes, I will return to it someday. But I do have to say it will need to be a while before I do so, because I know there would be a lot of excitement for me to do it, but I can't imagine redoing all of the same content I just did 5 months ago and that it's going to be as good as people actually want it to be. Like, I think the excitement and the nostalgia of the series might be making people want me to do this more than what the actual content would be good, because redoing the same one, I guarantee you guys won't enjoy it as much as you did the first time. Like, it's just a sad reality of content. I don't think the mod's changed enough where it's going to be really that different the second time around. So like, if enough time passes, sure, I'm sure it's like enough people have probably cycled around. I got new people who haven't seen it, you know, it'd be good, but you know, I don't know if it's really worth it right now. But you know, the thing is, like, yeah, so I would do it eventually, but I would probably have to be out of every other series I want to do, which is a pretty, like, you know, that list kind of keeps growing, like, I'm sorry to say, but it does. But I do have a rebuttal question or a return question for that, and I really, like, the more people who answer this in the comments, the more you might convince me to do it. But what about Primal Nemesis? I haven't played it. Similar to Primal Chaos. In fact, it's the premium version, so it's probably better. What do you think about that? Should I do that soon? Once I'm done with Anunnaki, what do you think? Should I do that as my next overhaul? I would do that. How many more series will I be doing before 2025? That is a good question. It's almost like a how long is a piece of string kind of question, but like, you know, it really depends. Like, I've only just started Astraeus, and I don't know how long, like how much content I've got on that. It's going to be as long as I can get out of it. Anunnaki's probably not got too much left on it. But so I'm definitely going to be starting one more series soon enough, which is going to be Extinction when that comes out. But that's still a while away. That's like December, right? But you know, depending on how Astraeus goes, like if that finishes, then I probably will start one more series that's not Extinction. So there might be two more, but you know, it's going to be minimum one, maybe two. But I also have been talking and collaborating with other people. So, oh, and I should also mention, yeah, if the other series I'm making with my friend comes through, then that'll be another one as well. So there could be 2 or 3. But, you know, I also do have collaborations sort of, you know, in progress and being discussed at the moment. So I don't know. Let's just go with 2 to 3, shall we? What's my opinion of the new Fear Evolved update coming out? Look, all that I currently know about that update, I actually haven't really looked into it fully, but I do know that apparently the Dodo Rex and the Dodo Reaper aren't included. To me, that's a bit of a strange choice, as they're kind of like fan favorites. Like, out of all of the yearly events, I'm pretty sure Fear Evolved's the most popular, and those bosses were always something that people really looked forward to fighting. Now they don't have them, so it's a very, yeah, it is a strange choice to me, but look, I can't speak to why they've chosen that. Yeah, they make some strange choices sometimes, and I haven't really seen enough of the rest of the mod to really, sorry, it is a mod, I guess, but the rest of the event to put a big comment into. I'm sure it's going to be fun though. Like, you know, there's going to be, you know, cool skins you can get. There'll be things to collect, I'm sure, and there might be some interesting things getting around, some cool colors. You know, I don't know, we should just give it a go. Like, you know, try not to be too negative about it. Just give it a go for what it is and see if you like it. You know, Ark Survival Evolved, you know, it had its time and we got to do all the fun things on there. You know, ASA should be better than what it is sometimes, but it is what it is. You know, we can have it as it is, I guess. And I wish they would make different choices, but sometimes they don't. Am I excited for Ark 2 and when do I think we'll get it? Look, hell yes, I'm excited for Ark 2. A second game in the franchise. I mean, I've already spent, I don't know, what year did I start Ark? 2015? What is that, 9 years I've been playing this game? 9 years? Holy crap, I did not even clock that until now. It's nearly 9 years, guys. I've been playing this bloody game. Talk about an addiction, I need to go to therapy. Oh man, no, I love it. But Ark 2, it's going to be different. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be forced third person, allegedly. Going to just be on this different planet. It sounds like it's going to be a different experience. So, yeah, I'm excited. Like, as long as it's not crap. I mean, I doubt it's crap. It should be at least good to some degree. And I'm not much of a hater. I'm not really that much of someone who gets really hyper negative about it. So, you know, I'm going to probably enjoy it for what it is, no matter what it is. And I encourage everyone to just try and, like, chill, you know, stay away from some of the negativity and just try to enjoy it for what it is when it comes out. But, you know, to go to the other side of the camp for a second, as for when I think we'll get it. Look, all I can say is it'll have to be between January and December, and that's all the specifics you're going to get. If I was ever to do a series on a different game, would I ever consider letting fans join in on the adventures? Look, this would honestly be very unlikely. Somewhere I would consider doing something similar to this would be if I was to run a community server where patrons can join and interact with me when I'm online. For any reason, like, I don't know if I would use a community server for a series. I could, maybe, but no, it is something I have thought about a lot recently. I've had multiple people ask me over time if I have community servers or if I'm going to make them. But, you know, it feels good. I'm glad people want to try and play with me. Like, that feels really cool. Like, there's people like, come on, man, I want to play with you. I'm like, that's kind of awesome. Like, I do really like that. But the reason I haven't done it yet, and I've said it before, like, managing a server with people on it is very different to managing a server just for me. Like, I shut my servers down when I'm not playing typically, but managing a server with, like, lots of a community on it, like, every time someone's got an issue with my body stuck in the mesh, like, you know, and I'm not going to do just handing out admin privileges to everyone in a community. You can't do that. So, like, you know, they're going to need intervention every time they lose their body, or they've gotten stuck in the mesh, or the game glitches out, and this is Ark, so that happens way too frequently. But, you know, I think about it, like, when I'm playing, like, if I get stuck in the mesh or something, I just quickly ghost my way out. Like, doesn't everyone do that? You know, if it's not my fault anyway. Like, I don't do it to get out of dying situations or anything, but I mean, just, like, glitches, right? But if I'm the person who has to be responsible for everyone else doing that, like, I'm okay with that. It's not like I don't want to do that. It's just that it will probably happen while I'm an hour into my workday, and you guys are going to be screwed the rest of the day. You know, like, I don't know how it's going to work if I was to do that. So at this stage, I just don't know. But yeah. What do I do for work outside of YouTube, and is it something I enjoy doing? Yeah, for my day job, I actually manage an IT help desk with a team of a couple of really good help desk techs. Look, I do love my job for the most part. It can be really stressful sometimes. Like, it is a corporate office, you know, it's busy. There's high priorities on things, a lot of, you know, pressure and stress and everything, you know, that's just part of the gig. I do enjoy it. It can be really fun. I work with a great bunch of people. My team's awesome. I don't know. I do enjoy it for the most part, but yeah, stressful? Absolutely. Do I have bad days? Yes. What games do I play beyond Ark? Oh, good question. Like, yeah, honestly, not that many. I'm freaking basically an addict when it comes to Ark. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can't put it down for some reason. And that's why I'm still here playing it, 2024. Anyway. Look, more recently, I actually did play Baldur's Gate 3 when it came out with my partner. I haven't actually finished it, funnily enough, but I got to all the way to Act 3. That game was really fun. I have played D&D, like, in person before with a group of friends, which I really enjoyed. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was actually a really fun game. It's fantasy, so as I said, I love fantasy. Yeah, we played it the other day, actually, tried to start another campaign, but it takes a long time. It's a hard game. But yeah, apart from that, I've played Hogwarts Legacy last year as well. I really enjoyed, was that last year or this year? I don't remember, but I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And I did play Sons of the Forest, I believe, last year with a friend as well. Also, I really enjoyed that. Another survival experience. I didn't finish it, but yeah, we had fun when we were playing it. Look, I do also enjoy occasionally playing small party games with friends as well. Like Crash Team Racing, Fall Guys, that kind of thing. Overcooked 2. Just things you can sort of pick up in a group, and, you know, if you're having a few drinks, you can just play and, you know, just be stupid. Don't take it too seriously. I do like that. I'm trying to actually get into them more and more as I get a bit older, because it's more about the fun than the seriousness, honestly. Like, you just got to have fun with this stuff. I should also mention too, I kind of forgot to put it in here, but Pokemon. I've grew up playing Pokemon. I haven't played the most recent one, but I do try and play. Like, I did play Sword and Shield. I did play Brilliant Diamond when it came out. I just haven't played the more recent one for some reason. I don't know what it is, but you know, I do enjoy stuff like that as well. But yeah, in terms of other games I've played over the years, like typically survival got my attention. Like, I started with Minecraft before Ark, and then Ark took all of my attention away from Minecraft. But I have also tried Conan Exiles and Space Engineers, and then of course Sons of the Forest, as I said. But Conan Exiles I played for quite a while. That was good fun for the building. I actually think the building's a lot better than Ark. Or at least it was before this new game. I haven't really compared the ASA to Conan, but just the fantasy aspect and some of the textures and some of the details you could put in was a lot better on Conan, so I loved that. But yeah, and the last thing to mention too, I also occasionally pull Skyrim back out just to go back into it again and give it another semi-playthrough, because that game just overloads me with nostalgia. Elder Scrolls has been so integral to me growing up. I loved it so much since Morrowind. What is my favorite drink? Well, I'm actually not too sure what this means, whether it's more about like a general, like anything you can drink, or specifically an alcoholic drink. Look, I to be honest, I don't really drink that much soft drink. So that, you know, I don't really consume a lot of that kind of stuff, or, you know, like cordials or anything. Like, I basically just drink water and have a coffee most days. But I really do like that one coffee I have. I don't know, I really like, not like an instant coffee. I mean like a, you know, barista made, or like I've got my own sort of semi-barista machine at home that I use. And I don't know, I enjoy that every day. But if the question is about alcohol, that's easier for me to answer, because I have a bit of a taste for semi-expensive whiskey. I'm not a full-blown snob, but I don't drink the cheapest whiskeys out there. I can't. They're gross to me. But when I say semi-expensive, I mean sort of towards, you know, yeah, sort of towards $100 whiskeys. And anything over that, if I can get them occasionally, I still love them. But, you know, obviously they're to be savored and not drunk that often. So at the moment, I've been enjoying a bottle of Ryder's Tears. You know, I don't know, it's just a nice Irish whiskey I like. And my favorite ever I've had of whiskey is Highland Park 18-year-old. First whiskey I've ever had neat, without ice, and it didn't burn me. And it was delicious. It wasn't even mine. I just got to enjoy it, and so good. Do I prefer sausage rolls or pies, and with what sauce? Definitely pies, and if I'm going to be a full-blown Aussie about it, just a standard 4 and 20 meat pie with tomato sauce on top. Yep, that's the answer. If I could choose a fantasy race to be in anything, what would I choose? You know, I bet you're all going to call me a basic bitch, but if I had to say, elves, and more specifically wood elves, okay? All right, yeah, I'll pause for you guys to call me basic, okay? Look, I know they can be a little pompous and snobby in a lot of series and franchise and everything, but like, look, I grew up as like a wide-eyed little kid watching Legolas bringing down armies and giant elephants and everyone with his bow and his unlimited arrows that he never seemed to run out of, but let's skip past that. Look, as someone who loves archery myself, and, you know, I love ranges as well, I've always loved being the stealth distance guy. You know, in Skyrim, for example, I always, you know, I'm always max out archery, and I basically one-shot things in all the dungeons and, you know, the tombs and everything. Like, before they even get to me. I love that build anyway. But yes, no, if I had to say, it's definitely them, because yeah, like, you know, how could you say no to them? Like, they're forest dwelling, bow mastering, immortal, majestic beings. And they're just freaking awesome. They're badass, man. They're so cool. Yeah, alright, so that's the end of all of the questions I had. Look, I did just want to take a moment just to sort of talk about Ark as well, right? So look, like, Ark has come a long way. A really, really, really long way. Look, I'm not someone who tracks every change and is across all the patch notes and can recite everything that's happened over the years. My attention does not go that far, but if I look at where it was in 2015 when I started playing versus where it got to by the end of ASE, and then again when ASA came out, it's fairly recognizable what the game is. So look, I started playing it back in 2015 when the Redwoods wasn't there, snow biome wasn't extended, you know, the freaking, what is it, like even the terminals, like the obelisks, like the floor on them was like out of the ground and like really hard to walk on and stuff. Like, it was just so many differences. The UI was completely different. The creatures just looked like, some of the textures were just awful. You know, it was terribly optimized. I know it's not fantastic still, but you know, it was a lot worse back then. They kind of made it decent by the end of ASE, right? But you know, like, the game's changed a lot. Like, the modding community did a lot. There's a lot of concepts that they brought in that, you know, ASA even introduced as part of the main game, because it's just like everyone just like, we need this, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool. You know, added it. There's a lot of creatures that came along the way that just never were there before. Look, the game's changed a lot. I've changed a lot while I've been playing it. Like, I was actually not a very good Ark player probably until like 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, I could play the game, I could tame creatures, I could run around and eat things on them, but in terms of like actually beating bosses and stuff, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to breed. I didn't know that imprinting was even worth it. Like, it was just things like that I just was terrible at. So like, I never actually beat the game until I started watching Syntac videos, and then I'm like, oh, if you do all these things properly, you can actually be really overpowered and do things quite easily. Because I thought the bosses were just like impossible until I figured out that you just have to play properly. And then it's not. You know, I don't know. Ark holds a special place in my heart, and yeah, I'm not giving up on it just yet. Look, but you know, I just wanted to say, guys, look, I know it's got its problems. There's a lot of negativity out there around it. Yes, the companies, and especially the publisher, make a lot of questionable decisions. They do stuff that if nobody in their right mind would really often agree with, but the companies can't do anything about it. The game still exists. We still play it. I'm pretty sure most of us still have a lot of fun playing it. I think we just sometimes have a bad experience and let it get to us. And I think the biggest problem out there at the moment is there are just videos upon videos going out that have titles that say Ark has just made the worst decision ever. Ark has now become unplayable. Ark is the worst game to ever happen, with pictures of the stocks going down, and you guys see these videos and go, oh, I'm playing a terrible game, and it's just a cycle of just feeling miserable about it. You just, I don't know, to me, I just avoid the crap. I just play it. If there's bugs or things or little quirks that you have to learn, like, you know, one thing I learned is you can't use the old fashioned, you know, 6 foundations and walls and a ramp trap that I used to use all the time on ASE. It doesn't work on ASA, so I just change traps and do it differently, and I never have problems taming things. Like, I don't know, some people have gotten really bitter and negative about that kind of stuff, but guys, I promise if you just try and work with it, it's really not so bad. You know, I know there's other issues, like the game literally not being playable for some people, and I feel bad for anyone who doesn't have an Ark-capable PC or device. You know, I'm sorry about that. You know, that's a pretty awful position to be in if you're missing out on stuff to that. But yeah, in terms of all the negativity, we'll just try to ignore it, guys. Like, you know, it's fine. We'll just try and enjoy it for what it is. You know, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. Look, anyway, I was hoping that I might have gotten a little bit ranty. I wasn't trying to rant. I'm just actually trying to stay a little bit positive. So anyway, guys, look, that is it for my Q&A. I hope you guys got your questions answered. I enjoyed answering them. Trust me, some of these questions were freaking awesome. I'm really happy with what came through. And I hope the content in the background, which I don't currently know what it is, was was good or added some flavor to what you guys were watching. But yeah. Look, anyway, guys, I will see you in whatever the hell the next video is coming out, and I hope you have a fantastic one. Bye-bye for now.